Now, the world of sport lost a legend, a true legend of the weekend. Sir Bobby Charlton, one of the greatest footballers of all time, has died sadly at the age of 86. He was, of course, the captain of Manchester United and one of the members of the England team who won that World Cup in 1966.
Well, joining us in the studio is talkSPORT presenter Jim White. Jim, the word legend gets used an awful lot in sport, but Bobby was like no other, was he?
Oh, he truly was. An amazing individual, actually. I was very fortunate to have met him on a number of occasions. Quite strangely, when I was growing up in Glasgow and I worked at Scottish TV, it was interesting, Jeremy. My father, Robbie, would always stay away, let me do my own thing. And then I was working in sport, stayed away, let me do my own thing. And the one and only time he said to me, "Can I come into your studio tonight? You've got Bobby Charlton on your show, haven't you?" So Bobby was in town. He was in town talking about something or other, but he was on the nightly news programme. And, you know, when I see those images again, iconic is the word. Legend is the word. My father wanted to meet him and did meet him. And I'll always remember Bobby Charlton spending about 25, 30 minutes after the show with my dad, just chatting football. And my father never, ever forgot it. No. And always used to remind, do you remember when we met Bobby Charlton? Do you remember Bobby Charlton with me? He was a delightful man. And so many people, I'm sure, Jeremy, would tell similar stories. If he had the time to give you, he would give you it.
I think the thing about Sir Bobby Charlton, and we throw about Nick's right, legend, GOAT, whatever. You think of the standard of football, then you think of that ball. This guy, I mean, the World Cup, the European Championship, the Ballon d'Or, spent his entire career at Manchester United, went through that Munich air disaster and became this global icon and became a Manchester United icon. But I've heard it from so many people.
Yes.
I'm lucky enough, I've met Alex Ferguson on several occasions, and he always said the most approachable man he's ever met in football. And that is some telling legacy.
Absolutely right. And one thing Sir Alex says, Jeremy, is that he's got a lot to thank Sir Bobby Charlton for, because in the early stages of Ferguson managing at United, he needed all the support he could get. And the one man he continually could call upon for support was Sir Bobby Charlton. And his support was never wavering. It was always there for Sir Alex Ferguson. And one thing Sir Alex Ferguson would do, of course, in his lifetime, would remember those who supported him.
Can I just say Alan Mullery, who played with Sir Bobby in the 1970 World Cup in Mexico City, will join us at 9:15. There is a distasteful story coming out this weekend about Manchester City.
I'm afraid there is. I mean, people like the three of us, when anyone ever passes in this life, I think the three words we would always use, regardless of who that person was, whether we knew them or didn't know them, would be rest in peace. But that's us, not so for everybody else. Why do football fans manage to have the unedifying ability of turning tragedies into tribalism? Manchester City, Jeremy, forced to put out a statement over the weekend at half-time in the Premier League game against Brighton and Hove Albion. The club condemns chants in the strongest possible terms. Chants about Sir Bobby. Not of a good sort.
No, not even going to give credence to them. Appalling.
The mind boggles. The mind boggles, so and they're looking into it, Nick. They're looking into it, and banning orders will be issued if they get the people involved.
The man. It doesn't matter who he played for. He was an absolute icon. Can I move on? Did you watch the rugby?
No, I missed
devastation on Saturday night. England, written off as no hopers in the Rugby World Cup, led for 78 minutes against the world #1 team, the Springboks, South Africa. It was just, we lost by a point. The guys, I cried, man.
I'm not surprised. I mean, they gave it a real go. I must admit, they unsettled the South Africans right from the off. They really got at them, didn't they? And you could tell that South Africa wanted to get into their normal game. And had they done so, they would have run all over England. But they didn't, and they couldn't because of England's tactics. And they came so close.
Typical England, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a pity. It was a pity.
Near, but so far. You like this story, this chalking, don't you? Do you like this story?
You've got a story about the lottery, I believe.
This is
yes, I do. This individual, Neil Jones, who, when he had 13 quid in his pocket, years ago, Christmas 2010, He went and won 2.4 million in the lottery, bought himself a pool table, and now is in the running to represent England in that very sport. I must admit, I would have done more than just play pool with the 2.4 million
Mate,
quid.
I'd love to have you on for a whole hour. I could not agree with you more. Just go abroad and lie in the sun,
Well,
honestly.
fair play to him. Jeremy, it takes me back to a guy I used to work with at Scottish TV. Scottish TV getting a lot of mentions this morning. His name was Colin Weir, no longer with us. He was a floor manager, like the floor managers here. Get your tea and coffee in the mornings. And then I saw him when I was down in London on Sky News. And I'm thinking, that's Colin Weir. Johnny, what has he done? 161 million in the lottery.
I got to go, Jim White. As ever, a massive thank you. We love you.